day, everyone!
Hello.
Back.
I think my webcam's frozen. That's a good start.
Oh, it is too.
Great start.
Well, actually, there you go. It's working now.
Hey.
Oh no, I had to keep it open. There you go. It's because I minimized Skype so I could see the chat, and it's like.
That's why I got my TV set up right behind my laptop.
Ah, well, that's good.
So it's all nice and cooked up and crazy. Yes, we will start this discussion with a yang.
With a yang.
By the way, just as anime as art, I know you sent me a message on RWBY Amino. I apologize. I just hate using private chat messaging.
Like, you sent me a message too, I think.
It's just a thing where it's just like, you know, I'm a public figure, so if you want to send me a message, just do it over Twitter or do it over YouTube or whatever. Just when it comes, I have a bag when people private message me, it's often about a commission, and then they don't understand how commissions work, and then they're not willing to pay for it and all that kind of stuff, and it's just private messages just get so much more confusing than just a public hello or hi, you know.
I'm slack with replying to them. I try and reply to every message I get, but sometimes I get so many, and it's just like, I haven't replied to this person.
Well, I don't have that problem, Mrs. Popular. Mrs. Almost 800 subs. Although, to be fair, my sub count's been rising faster since I stopped doing reactions, which makes no sense at all.
No, it doesn't. Maybe it might have something to do with this. I don't know.
I'd like to think so. I'd like to think that, well, not to say, well, I'm getting a lot out of this, just, you know, airing my grievances, over the week. But again, I'm such in a, episode 5 mindset, because you just watch reactions all week.
Yeah.
So you come here to discuss the most recent episode, and it's the day before the next one comes out, but I'm still thinking of episode, it's...
Chapter 5, yeah.
But yeah, regardless, we are here to discuss Known by Its Song, Chapter 6.
Chapter 6, and so much to discuss. 5.
Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of coming into this thinking there wasn't that much to discuss, but I'm glad you feel otherwise.
I feel like there is, because, well, we got the crow bit at the start, which is not a huge amount to discuss about that, but we'll chat about it.
But I think that's going to lead into a really cool underlying subplot going forward, I feel like. I feel like that there's a lot to take from that going forward, actually. The whole Known by Its Song thing wasn't that referenced in the episode.
No.
But I think it does relate to the fact that birds are known. Because I think like the saying comes from birds are known by their song.
Yes.
So like birds are honest; they just say what they are. But men are known by their actions.
Yes.
So again, it's meant to allude to like believe Raven, don't believe because she's a bird. Don't believe Ozpin because he's a liar. He's a man. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's a very subtle title. It was a very subtle title. I definitely was expecting a more literal, like, you know, a new song or something.
Yeah, I guess in the last few chapters we've actually had it sort of mentioned in the episode, like necessary sacrifice definitely was like necessary sacrifice, Ilya.
And that was also a big plot of the show the volume going forward is the idea of a necessary sacrifice.
Yes, and then of course we had the hug at the end.
Yeah. We'll get into that obviously when we get there.
Yes, definitely.
But overall, it was an interesting episode because it was a longer episode, but it was very focused on the two basically the Bronwyn's. Basically, this episode was nothing but the Bronwyn's.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a very juxtaposing because, you know, you have your last two episodes are a bit shorter, but they still jump between 3 or 4 different stories. So this one, it was longer, but it definitely stayed very focused on what it wanted to discuss.
Yes.
But of course, in the conversation below, the chat let us know your thoughts and opinions, or at least your initial thoughts and opinions on the chapter.
Yes.
Yes, it'd be very good to know what everyone has to say.
Yes. Well, overall, I enjoyed it. I really liked this episode. And why did they keep making me cry?
Yeah, definitely the
feels.
Definitely getting into the feels for sure.
Oh goodness.
It was almost funny. I think that the part of the episode that made me sad the most was not seeing Ruby and Weiss have more of a moment.
Yeah.
I kind of was disappointed a little bit. Like, I understand that obviously Yang and Ruby are far more connected than Ruby and Weiss are.
Yes.
And I remember I always find myself referencing other YouTubers, which I feel like I shouldn't do. I don't know why. I feel like I shouldn't be referencing other people. Hi, Zom.
Hi, Zom.
But Dan mentioned, I guess we're jumping into it, I guess. Dan mentioned during the hug scene that Weiss was sad because this scene reminded her of her and her sister.
Yes.
And I was like, that's a good way to look at it.
It is.
But to me, I interpret it more of like, I'm not as close to these people because they're family.
Yeah.
I'm just here. I'm not a part of this. But then they invited her in, of course.
Yeah. I got more like she was just happy for them to be reunited, and
but also but then a little bit sad that again she wasn't. I don't know. At least that's how I feel. I feel it was a bit more like she wasn't as, because again she's not sisters. You know, she's not. Yeah. You know, she's happy to see it, obviously. Yeah. But does she for a moment that she felt, does she belong in this situation? Yeah. And then it does. Then they brought her in, of course. Yeah. And you know, and you see that reaction. But with episode 7 looking to be a very, very shorter, very more contained story on just Ranger, or I think someone interpreted, of all the names, it does still say Orange. Does it? Somehow, like the six characters and Crow, it does say Orange. Orange. So maybe that's the group. I don't know. But the point is that, you know, for those who don't know, episode 7 will be very much focused on that. Yes. And who knows? The person who kept mentioning episode 7, Stoic, isn't here. Yeah. Well, I'm still thinking it's going to, and I think I mentioned this on it was one of my Twitch streams during the week, actually, we were just randomly discussing things, that I think it's going to end on a really horrible cliffhanger right at the end of the episode. Something probably to do with Menagerie. I just got a feeling that it's going to be something bad right at the end. To just juxtapose the implied setting of the episode. Yes. Yeah. Because I think I've got the feeling it's going to be all happy. Yeah, yes, we're all together. I think it's going to be. It's going to be very much like the Menagerie episode from Volume 4, where it's going to be very focused on one story, but then a little cliffhanger at the end to unsell you. So it could just be all of this Ranger Ruby stuff, and then it's going to move over to Blake, because you see all the characters together, and Blake's the only one not connected. That's true, very true. So it's like, we see all this, now we want to see what Blake's about, and you have a tiny little scene, I don't know what it is, a tiny little scene of Blake and Sun, and then just pans out and you see Ilya looking at the house, you know, like that, or like Yuma, or like all of the brothers and sisters of the brothers are there. But, you know, you just see like a panning shot of something about to happen. So, I don't want it to happen, but I've got a feeling it's going to, and lead into what the next episode's going to be. I definitely really I want to see more villain stuff. Yes, we haven't had much of the villains. Not just White, and again, I know we've got White Fang stuff, but I want to see maybe something of Hazel, maybe something of Watts, something of Leo even. Tyrion or something, and Salem's chat. Yes, or more preferably Tyrion and Salem's chat. Yes. Or Cinder. Yes. I'll say we'll definitely get some more Cinder at the end when she gets to the abandoned camp. It is called Rests and Resolution. Yes. So that could relate to Tyrion. Resolution, maybe. No, I sort of got more feeling that's to do with Ranger and the gang, but no, it does. But I'm trying to spin it to see what else could be incorporated into the episode. Yeah, it's going to focus on those guys. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying who else could fit into that title. It could possibly be Tyrion. Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm trying to think, what else was in Necessary Sacrifice? We had Blake and Sun. Yep, and then RWBY and Oscar's D&M. Yeah, so there you go. Then kind of Necessary Sacrifice. She was talking about Penny and Piero. That kind of all relates a little bit. Yeah. And even Blake and Sun, I can kind of twist that to be like, you know, her feelings on people was like a sacrifice, or Ilya kind of thing. So again, it all kind of works into that. I don't know, like, when it comes to Gira and Carly, I don't know, I don't foresee a straight up slaughter and both of them dying. I hope not. It just seems like that it's too straightforward. They've told us what's going to happen. Yeah. And I doubt it's just going to happen the way they've told us it's going to happen. Yeah. You know, whether that has to do with Ilya or not, I don't necessarily think so. No, I don't know. I feel like she's going to have second thoughts. I don't see this being the start of Ilya's redemption yet. Yeah. I think there'll be a lot of hesitation in there. But again, if the idea is that, you know, Ilya is going to fake kind of change sides to get Blake away from her family. And that's the thing, Ilya is not going to be directly involved in this at all. which is why I think at the end of the day, Blake won't hate Ilya necessarily.
Yeah.
But again,
I don't know
are we
what's
going to
gonna
see them
happen
die? And again, we discussed this last week. Blake can go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
whether she wins, fails, or not, she will end up in Mistral by the end of the volume.
It's just
at
how
this
she
rate.
gets there.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does not matter what
Yeah.
happens. Whether parents die, they don't die, she gets captured, she doesn't. She will end up in Mistral
Yeah.
because all of her plot points are going towards Mistral.
Yes, and yeah, we all know they're all heading there, so she's the last one to get there.
Yeah.
Yes.
They definitely got them all back a little quickly than I expected. I don't know. Something about me didn't feel like the Raven would just send them both to RWBY like that.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people complaining about that. Yeah,
Huh?
I saw a lot of people complaining about that. That
Really?
it was a bit rushed, and that there should have been more to Raven's discussion, and that they shouldn't have did the
No,
reading so quickly.
I don't mind that necessarily.
I don't mind it myself, but I saw a lot of people.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's again, a lot of people always will say that RWBY is too is not straightforward enough. It very much alludes to things without giving you answers.
That's true.
And not just us, that's the characters as well. I don't mind that. I like them stretching.
I like it too.
I love stretching stuff out like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, Yang asked straightforward, why'd you leave? And Raven still didn't answer. Whether that's because there's something to do with Summer, they don't want to bring up Summer yet, or it's just something that Raven doesn't want to discuss.
I think she wanted to sort of try and persuade Yang to stay so she could then tell her everything.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, like, again, like her last, I think it was last week, or, it would have been, it would have been last week when we talked about Necessary Sacrifices, how I was like, I don't hate Adam, despite what he's done, because I'm more intrigued by him. Raven is the same way, but even more so. I don't dislike Raven at all.
No, I don't dislike
Yes, she has her, how do I put this? How do I put this? She has her way of thinking about things.
Yeah.
And that's on her, and that's fine. But you can tell that she doesn't regret the decision she's made, but she does understand that what she's done hasn't been the best for Yang.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you do kind of have to look, I understand looking out for yourself kind of thing, and yeah, she had the portal, she could see them at any time, and that's where it gets a bit more hazy.
Yes.
But she doesn't have to explain herself that why she left. She left because of her reasons, and her reasons are her own.
Yep.
And you could even tell half the things Raven was saying was trying to help Yang, but in her own way. And of course, Yang didn't see it that way, and most of the community can like understand where Yang's coming from.
Yeah.
But it's to the manner of that, you know, like Raven said, you know, don't believe everything just because someone tells you it. And even then, Yang is blindly only focused on RWBY.
She is, absolutely.
She doesn't looking at the big picture, and that's where I can really start a Raven. It's like, I get your point, but there is a bigger picture here. Raven's just trying to show you that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Not just, again, and also, that's the thing too, Raven knows nothing about RWBY. At least, she doesn't know any more about RWBY than she does about Weiss or Blake.
Yeah, exactly.
She knows them through Yang, and through, like, you know, keeping tabs on Yang. But it's not because, like, RWBY is her niece that she knows anything more about her. She doesn't. RWBY was born way after she'd left.
Yep.
You know? So, it's very interesting. But I think, let's backtrack and get this started, because we're still on this pre-discussing thing. Hey, Blizzard, I see a bunch of your comments in the chat there.
Yes. Crow.
Yes,
Crow.
so we
Crow
start off
having a bad day.
with, Crow having a very bad day, some very funny little montage there of him going around, not being able to find things. And, of course, I think the episode starts with the shopkeep. Not that shopkeep.
No.
But Mistral's residence shopkeep.
Yes.
Which was the RWBY Rewind.
Yes.
From the last week. And, which, of course, ladies and gentlemen, Larissa doesn't watch the RWBY Rewind, so no spoilers in the chat for the RWBY Rewind.
Well, I try and watch them, just not the preview.
Oh, yeah, well, that's...
But I haven't watched the last two.
Yeah.
I've been waiting to get back and watch them.
That is what I meant.
Yes. Hi, Ro.
Hello. So, yeah, we see him trying to find,
Trying to find his list of contacts.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the name.
Shiro 1.
Shiro 1, thank you very much.
Yes.
Shiro 1, and it basically, I don't think I need to go too much into it, but it goes all around, and basically, all of his contacts are either dead or missing.
Yeah, or on the bounty list.
Well,
yeah.
Yes. Well, yeah, on the bounty list, but it said under them all either missing or terminated.
Yes.
So yeah, they're on the bounty list, but they actually have disappeared or have been killed, and that seems like a really interesting subplot. One, because we don't get an overflow of new characters, which I was a little concerned about this Huntsman thing. I'd much, again, like I said, I've always said, I'd much rather see Neptune, Sage, and Scarlet come back in than just introduce all these new Huntsmen. And I know that RWBY has had a very limited amount of actual Huntsmen. All we ever see are students or supervillains.
Yep.
Which I completely well, yeah, more or less they're pretty much all. I think the implication was they've all been killed.
Yeah, there was I think 1 or 2 that said search and rescue rather than search and destroy, but
yeah, but they all, but nevertheless, they either said terminated or missing.
Yeah, well, it said search and destroy or search and rescue above the progress.
Okay, yeah, sorry, my bad. Yes,
so they had their name, the type of mission, and then progress, whether being terminated or in progress, or
yeah, and that's the thing. Most of these people, if not all of them, were either Huntsmen that have dead disappeared, or people who are being hunted by Huntsmen.
Yeah.
And that leads into the idea that I didn't think of this at first, but has Leo deliberately sent them all to their death under Salem or Watts' choice? Like to get them out of the way, so that when the White Fang invade, this little, which is kind of what Cinder was planning.
Yeah.
She didn't want to get rid of the Huntsman. She waited for an opportunity for the Huntsman to not be there.
Yeah.
For example, at the end of Volume 2, when all the Huntsmen were out on, she knew that all the Huntsmen would be out on missions.
Yes.
So she planned an assault then and there.
Yes.
Of course, that didn't work. It happened like a week early, and not everyone had or it happened like a day or two early, and not everyone had left yet.
Yeah.
So that failed. So then she repurposed her plan to when everyone would be in the stadium. So it's kind of that same idea with this, except rather than waiting, they're putting their plan. Well, I guess the question is, are they putting their plans into action?
They could be.
Maybe not Leo necessarily, but is someone deliberately hunting them down or trying to get them out of the picture?
I think
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just thinking out loud, but I just think it also just shows how Mistral is at the moment with when after the fall of Beacon, with the Greenwall attacking and the Council at odds with Atlas and everything, and then the Huntsmen all out probably trying to stop the Grim and stuff, which came close after the fall of Beacon and all of that. So I think it just shows.
Yeah, it could be just the implication of how bad the world is getting.
Yeah, definitely.
That all these people are just simply disappearing.
Yep.
Just coincidentally, almost. Bad luck, almost. So it really does, begin to question, and it's good, the implication of again how dangerous this life is, because the first mention I thought of that was when Roman said, "Play a part and die like every other Huntsman history."
Yep.
And I took that very literally, as in I very much doubt there are next to any Huntsman that get to the point of retirement.
Yeah.
Almost all of them die before they get to retire.
Yeah.
Ty retired young and is a teacher now.
Yeah.
So it's things like that, becoming teachers, or, because again, all the old people we've seen in the series either aren't Huntsmen or are no longer fully active Huntsmen. Being teachers.
Yep.
That kind of thing.
Yep.
So it's a very likelihood that, again, most, die like every other Huntsman history is probably a very literal relation to the world that Roman mentioned. And I think this is a great sign of that. Again, it's just reinforcing little plots that are that I think the fandom has already assumed. Yep. But again, a lot of people are butthurt that things aren't thrown to their face.
Yeah.
They want everything to be explained for them, like the Silver Eyes, like Raven, they want everything to be explained to them. I prefer I don't need subtlety hints.
Yeah.
Assumption is enough to satisfy me.
Yep.
But again, things like this help build the world a little bit more. The fact that the world, but it could also relate to Leo.
Yeah.
It could.
Yeah.
But then again, I guess he's just a headmaster of the academy, not necessarily in charge of the other Huntsmen. Because they don't have maybe Leo wouldn't have been involved in this as much as I think he could be. I don't think he is, but I've heard that but now I'm kind of thinking that I don't think that's possible, because they're not connected to Kingdom allegiances, so they wouldn't really be connected to the academies anymore. Yeah. Okay, never mind. But of course we do get that scene with Heather Shields' family.
Yeah, the little girl.
Yeah, it's just reinforcing how bad this is, and it's a really interesting subplot, I think, for Crow going forward.
Yeah.
of course, all of his friends, all his friends and old contacts are disappearing or have died.
Yeah.
Even going as far as, trying to clear their names and stuff. Very, very, nice of him to go and do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a not a nice place, seemingly.
No, it's funny because for Mistral, like they talk about like the top half it's all like the upper class and everything, and then you got the bottom half where anything really else goes. And you got the black market. And everything,
we do get a very good glimpse of that.
Yeah, we did.
Mistral as a whole is definitely not what I kind of was expecting. Yeah, but I think what we've seen of it has still been very like, we've seen the very, very lower end, and we've seen pretty pictures of the high end. I would like to see us walking through the high end, other than the academy,
Yeah.
Just because, again, we've gotten and I had no problem with the art style they chose in episode 1. But it would be nice to actually walk through somewhere that was Mistral, not just the academy and not just the slums.
Yeah.
Whether we'll get that or not, I'm not certain. But again, I feel like,
I think
personally,
it was really good.
I'd like to see that. No, it definitely was very good. A lot of comments.
I always want to mention before we get to the comments.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I thought it was a bar where we first saw Crow walk into, but it was actually a ramen shop. Not sure if you realized that either. Yes. Yeah. Because then in the credits, it was the ramen shop owner. It was the voice actor.
And also he was carving out little like ramen.
Yeah, ramen noodles.
Bolts.
Yeah. And how it had a no fauna sign near the door too, which was interesting. And again,
that's another thing as well. That was another thing as well when it comes to subtlety rather than assumptions in this show.
Yeah.
Where this is a good little thing where it's like, here you go, guys. Here's more. Since you guys don't think faunas get mistreated.
Yeah. There's another little thing there, just a little hint about.
Just a little thing there again. Like, I don't know. It's always the argument: show us, don't tell us.
Yeah.
That's never bothered me. Yeah. But here you go, guys. Here's a little bit of show.
Yeah, I thought that was really good that they put that.
Which again, that's something, and this also ties into the RWBY Rewind scene from this past week.
All right.
That of course I won't go into too much detail, but this volume is very much based on. There's been a lot of instances of let's give more hints to things that people still want us to show.
Yeah.
Because again, there've been a lot of hints, a lot of subtlety this volume.
Yes.
And even callbacks to stupid things that happened in previous volumes that they're going to like, let's rectify this because people complained about it.
Yeah.
So not retconning, just like, let's just explain this kind of thing because apparently it wasn't clear. And that also ties into the semblance talk as well. That's very similar to that,
Yep.
All that stuff we heard was par for the course to assume. But it was cool just to get a little more refresher on it. And even the scene last episode with Blake explaining Ilya again. We already knew that, but there's nothing wrong with necessarily reinstating some information.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
But of course, then people will say, well, we already knew the Blake short. Why do we have to see it again in episode? It's possible to satisfy some people.
Well, it sort of tied into their conversation, so it made
sense.
No,
it did. I felt it was completely. It made sense. Yeah. And the only thing she had one sentence. Her parents died in a mining accident.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't think she went into all the detail we got in the Blake character short, or even her speech in episode 3.
Yes.
But again, from one Bronwyn to another. Unless you have anything more to say about Crow's story.
Not that I can think about it at the moment, but I really enjoyed it.
I did see someone in the comments mention, like, Crow has bad luck. Well, if you had bad luck, that knife would have gone right through his head. It was funny seeing Crow, like, intimidated. That was very... when I first saw it, I was like, I didn't realize Crow was the kind of type to be intimidated, but fair enough.
Well, he didn't have his sword on him, for one.
That's actually a good point to his sword back. But even though, in the slums of Mistral, maybe it wouldn't be the worst idea to have your sword on you, but...
No, exactly. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention as well is the blacksmith. I saw some fan art already of her. And some
a lot of people seem to...
Yeah, I really liked her design
it was definitely really cool seeing a not perfectly slim character model.
Yes.
Apart from like Port would be the only other exception.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
Yeah, that was just a cool little... Okay, cool. So there you go. There's that's just a cool little...
She looked like someone you wouldn't want to mess with either.
No, that's true. I feel like female blacksmiths in general, in almost any sort of iteration, female blacksmiths, you just don't mess with female blacksmiths. In any iteration, no matter if it's TV, games, or anything. Just don't mess with female blacksmiths.
Exactly. And then they had that also showed some people fighting in the background, so they'll it looked like they'll. I don't think they were actually in a proper fight, but it looks like they were more practicing.
But again, it's the lower rings. You have to kind of fight to survive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was really cool that we saw those two as well as Heather Shields' family.
Die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Hazel looking at you.
Yeah.
See that's an interesting concept, obviously taken from Two-Face from Batman. I did think of that kind of with Hazel. It's more like I feel like he's done enough as a villain where I think it's almost the opposite.
Yeah.
Where he's lived enough as a villain that he kind of is tired of that kind of life almost. But again, we don't really know enough of Hazel yet. But I think
we really don't know much about Hazel.
I think it's almost the opposite to that a little bit.
Yeah.
Hazel to reform doesn't actually hurt anyone. Or that's the thing too, like him possibly being a pacifist or him just not wanting to fight.
Yeah.
And him obviously, thinking the waste, not wanting to be wasteful kind of thing as well. Which I feel like, is that something else someone has had in the show? Wastefulness. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But like as I said, back onto the other Bronwyn.
Yes, Raven.
And we just discussed that quite a little bit just before, just as the stream started. Again, the scene was. I mean, blah 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 blah.
That tea set was so beautiful.
Yes. Thank you, Vernal. Very, very nice tea set. Her weapon was pretty cool as well. Very curious to see that in action. Hopefully against Cinder. Hopefully we get to see Cinder's glass swords reappear.
Yes, I really like Vernal's weapon. That looked
with a maiden's, huh? What was that?
Also, Vernal's weapon was really interesting. It's sort of it looked a bit like Tyrion's a little bit, but different. Yeah. It
was definitely a bit more of a bandit variant.
Yes.
On a similar kind of weapon. Sorry guys, very humid today. I'm feeling very, very tired still.
You look sleepy.
And that's the thing too, like I wanna, if I say something, I don't want to say it with a bad tone, because then people are gonna think I'm being sarcastic like I said, Raven scene, and then I started drifting off. It's like I composed myself. No, I really did like Raven scene.
It was good. I felt like it wasn't too much, like too wordy or anything. She was straight to the point. It
was subtle. It didn't necessarily explain what we wanted, but it did do something that. What was one of the one things that almost every episode I've always been against that was kind of proven this episode?
That Raven turning into a raven was a semblance, and you're saying it wasn't a semblance. It was her portals that were a semblance.
But who did that? Who gave her that ability?
Osborn.
And what does that mean for Osborn?
That
he's likely the
villain. The wizard.
Yes. That was my one thing. I never wanted to kind of accept that he was the wizard, and I still, to a degree, don't. But we know he can use magic, and that alone is pretty concrete.
Yeah.
So why does he need maidens if he can give the power of maidens then? Does that make sense? I don't know.
I didn't even think about that. That's hilarious.
Okay, wait. I'm the master of justification and clarification.
Okay.
So, what if he gave the maidens powers to spread his own? So let's say, for example, he locked away the relics. He hid away the relics with his own power. So he split his power between 4 different people, so that no one person could all get to all the relics.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, if he's the key to the relics, he could open all 4 of them. So he created the maidens so that he didn't have all the power himself in case he got captured or he reincarnated as someone bad. That to me is justification why he would do that.
Though he can only reincarnate with someone who is a like-minded soul.
Well, true, but like, what if he's captured?
Oh, yeah.
Then he can just be taken to each 4 of the relic sites. With this way, you have to get 4 different people to do it. I don't know. Like, again, a lot of people will just say the fact that he gave his power to create the maiden, so he doesn't have the power anymore.
Possibly.
Which, I don't know, to me that doesn't make sense.
Then again, it's a fairy tale, so it's probably not exact. There's
That's,
probably
that's a fair point as well.
Yeah.
You know.
Because so many stories get warped over time, so this could definitely be one that's warped over time too, so.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm. Sorry.
Some people will still complain or be like, you know, how did Ozpin get defeated by Cinder?
Yeah.
You know, Cinder was just a new maiden, but Ozpin was this apparently magical wizard that had powers for years. Again, the idea if he gave his power up to spread he made the maidens to secure the relics, to get the relics safe. So he wasn't the only one who had access to the relics.
Okay.
So there's that. And I was thinking about this last night, actually. Is that the fact that, yes, Ozpin could, in theory, be this all-powerful person who's had thousands of years of experience, and could, in theory, then be the most powerful being in Remnant.
Yep.
But, remember the term he used to describe how Oscar would get as good? Muscle memory.
Muscle memory, yeah.
That is a very, very interesting point to make out. Because that leads to predictability.
Yes.
If every reincarnation is just the muscle memory of the previous incarnations, then that means it is a... No, don't laugh at me, I'm talking. He'd be a very predictable fighter. Yes. Meaning he could easily be defeated because he'd be predictable because of his muscle memory.
Yes.
So that's how, and if Cinder is indeed this pupil of Salem that was given the last name Fall, that, you know, was destined to become the Fall Maiden because Salem chose her to be, it would make sense that she was trained to literally be the counterpart to this fighting style that he has had for thousands of years. Just.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. Yes.
Ozpin, I've never been killed by a hot chick, bucket list check. Or could be that.
It could also be...
Or again, it's just one of those things where Amber never used her potential. She never used all the power she had against Cinder and Mercury and everything. And also, it comes back to that too. Emerald is a scrapper. Emerald is a fighter to the point where she's not a predictable fighter because she wasn't taught necessarily any particular fighting style. Yeah. She learned to fight and fend for herself, which again leads to unpredictability. Mercury was trained as an assassin, and Cinder was likely a prodigy trained from childhood to fight maidens and fight Ozpin. Sorry we got into that. Okay.
So, Ruby and Stark teams at Beacon.
Yeah. Definitely very interesting dynamic there.
Yeah.
Because again, it always leads into like the story being, you know, repeatable or predictable. It's like, you know, this team is as good as this team because they're children. But this is a bit better. This justifies it, where it's like, you know, Stark was chosen in the same way Ruby was. So it doesn't make... And, you know, they happen to be connected.
They had the potential. Osborn probably thought they had the potential for... Well, he's playing against Salem, I suppose, so... Yeah.
Yeah, but that's very interesting. Definitely a very interesting comparison to make between the two teams.
Yes.
They're very similar. I'm a little off track today, guys. I apologize.
I really want to see what Stark got up to at Beacon. Goodness.
We'll likely get a flashback episode eventually.
Yeah, sure we will.
Or we'll probably get a spin-off series after RWBY ends. I feel like that's a very likely. Because again, like, I remember someone was discussing it, and it's like how, I hope RWBY goes on forever, like Red vs. Blue, and it's like, and like, Rooster Teeth does have that mentality. If it's popular, they'll keep making it.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I think they mentioned before, RWBY does have an ending.
Yes. Gray has mentioned on repeated instances that RWBY does have a beginning, middle, and end. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that the world of Remnant as a whole will ever go away.
Exactly.
They'll keep making RWBY-based shows forever if it's popular.
I'm sure
they
will.
RWBY will end after Volume 10, Volume 12, etc., etc.
Yeah.
We're not even halfway through even after the episode, we are only halfway through. I can't believe we're only halfway through this volume.
We've already been given so much already.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah.
But Renar's weapon, awesome. The Team Stark RWBY comparison is really cool. It does lead into the question, was Ty just a circumstance of wrong place, wrong time?
Possibly.
Was he just because he's part of the team that he was significant? Because we know why Crow and Raven were chosen and they were significant.
Yes.
And we can assume someone was because of her silver eyes.
Yes.
So what role did Ty play in this? Was he just a pawn, as ironic as that may sound?
One of the questions I got actually was asking what's Ty's role in Team Stark.
Yeah, I don't know if he necessarily had one.
Yeah. I'll just the comment back there. Ray says she's seen people come back from the dead. I was wonder. I thought she was talking about Ozpin in that.
Ozpin.
Yeah.
I no
That's
doubt
where my mind went straight to Ozpin, but of course it could
I don't want them to ever introduce a resurrection.
Yeah.
I don't want Pyrrha back. Penny can come back, but different, but not for the resurrection.
No.
Summer I think is dead. I don't think Summer will come back, but I think her and her story will be really significant.
Yes, I'll definitely.
I do think Summer is dead.
Yes, I believe so too.
Taiyang was chosen to impregnate me. That makes sense. Why Ozpin liked Stark, and then basically what was the next in line after Stark. But again, you also have to question in, with all this stuff that Raven has talked about, it does take away some of the possibilities of why she left. So it does come back to the idea of was Ty the reason why Raven left? Did Ty cheat on Raven with Summer? Was there a reason Raven left that wasn't necessarily her own? Or was it just a situation of, she went to Beacon, she learned how to kill Huntsman and planned to go back, but got knocked up in the process.
Yeah, well.
But then she,
I guess things just fell apart. Probably, I'm not sure if she left before or after Summer died.
Fault? Was it Summer's fault? Was it Crow's fault? Was it Ozpin's fault?
I think they all just went their separate ways, and Raven just went back to the bandits. I don't know. I'm sure something happened there, but
yeah, but that's what I'm questioning. To me, I don't know. Again, I haven't rewatched the episode recently, but I'm just wondering if it had something to do with Ty. If because she even said fool of a father.
Father,
she doesn't have. She has no issues with Yang. She loves Yang, and she wants Yang to be in her life. It's just that she made her choice.
Yeah.
But that again, she made her choice, but it doesn't necessarily mean she had any issues with Yang. She wanted to go back to the bandit camp, and unfortunately, she couldn't take Yang with her. But I'm sure she would have. She could have. Maybe. Well, again, that's something. My interpretation of it is she's not as bad. She has a personality, a clashing personality. Yeah. Especially when it comes to her ideals. But I do not think that she is a bad person. Yeah. Yeah. And there's other comes, with Ty struggling, Summer stepped in probably, and then, they're their own kid after she stepped in to help with Yang. Yeah. I think, and then Crow is still off doing his stuff for Ozpin all those years. Yeah. Still, and again and then we of course tie into the fact of that. Ozpin is now also connected to the Wizard of Oz and also Odin. Yes. Because of the whole Your Last Eye is Blinded and the Ravens and of Odin. Yes. Which now does definitely relate to Crow and Raven and the fact that they were turned into crows and ravens by Ozpin.
I wonder if this got something to do with the fairy tale. I've got a feeling it probably will be.
Which fairy tale?
I don't know which one, but I've got a feeling it's got to be an actual fairy tale of some sorts. Like the maidens.
But now I have to question why. I wonder if Raven was given the name Raven just because Crow was given the name Crow, and it was just like an appropriate name to give her. Because Crow was given his name based on his semblance. That's Raven didn't have that connection to the word Raven, so maybe she was just given the name Raven by the tribe because she was sisters with Crow.
possibly, yeah, because
I
wouldn't have gotten the ability to turn into a Raven to her after her time at Beacon since Osmond did it to her.
Yeah. So I don't know. That makes sense to me. It's like if a guy called Crow his sister, call him another bird name. But again, we also do idea that Vernal is a type of bird as well as spring. So it could be everyone is named reference to a bird. So that could just be a coincidence that it's Raven and Crow.
Yeah.
I still tell that the animation department still doesn't know how they transform. You still don't have an answer to that because you still don't actually see it. It's still just something swimming across the scene. Then all of a sudden, I love that shot.
Yeah, that was a really good shot. Yeah,
I just loved that shot. I don't know what it was. I just really liked that shot.
Yeah.
But again, I like Raven because again, I don't think she's as bad as almost the show makes her out to be.
Yeah.
Because she gave Yang a choice. You know, it's like you can stay here and I will answer every question you want, or will you be blind, ignore the bigger threat, and go after your sister and uncle.
Of course she is going to.
Yeah.
We all knew Yang was going to.
But again, it's also, if something happens at a later point, it is Yang's fault for making that choice.
Yeah.
Not that she's wrong for making that choice.
No.
But she was blind in this decision. And that's not a bad thing. She made the choice that she wanted to make, and that's fine. But, necessarily, it could be the bad choice in the long run.
Yeah, it could be, definitely.
Weiss in this whole scene was a little... I don't know, like her little obnoxious line was cool.
Yes.
I don't know,
it's okay to be okay. It's okay if you're not okay. I think
I don't know. I feel like maybe she could have done a little bit more here. I'm not sure why I feel that.
Well, she was sort of like just. It was between Yang and Raven.
Yeah, I guess. I think that's why. I think I would have liked a little more of a reunion scene. And then we moved into the. I just feel like it just jumped from the hug to that scene, and then Weiss.
Well, we don't know what happened between that, but yeah.
Yeah, of course. But again, you know, like Weiss got out of place in that scene a tiny bit.
Yeah.
And then she goes on, you know, like we have dust and semblances with this thing as magic. I thought that line was a bit odd. I don't know, that line just felt a bit odd. Again, like there is semblance and dust in this world. The fact that magic is so unbelievable is a bit strange.
Yeah.
But
then again, everything is explained in their world.
Pyrrha had that same kind of idea as well.
There's no such thing as magic. Yeah.
There's no such thing as magic. Yeah. I don't know, just her saying there's no such thing as magic after saying we have dust and semblances, but there's no such thing as magic. I don't know, that just felt like a strange dialogue. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But of course, then we have I will not be as kind the next time we meet.
Yeah. And I was trying to figure out what Raven said after she left. He said, it always said like, you know, or I know.
I know. Because again, that's my point. That's like kind of my point I've been getting at, is the fact that she knows what she's done. Yeah. And she doesn't expect Yang to join up. No. But she has to ask because she cares about her. Yeah. You know, it's like, I want you to be here with me, and I will give you everything you want. Again, I made my choice back then, and I don't regret my choice. Yeah. But that doesn't mean I hate you. That doesn't mean I don't want you in my life.
Exactly.
It's just, I made my choice, and that happened to put you under this choice, and I'm sorry that happened. Yeah.
We want to move on to the happy bit of the episode.
Well, again, we discussed that a little bit before just the start of the stream. But we go back to Crow, and again, him questioning the whole huntsmen are gone. Yep. Or his friends are gone and stuff, and like it doesn't know why, and it's just so crazy. I
understand some of them, but all of them? I think was his line, something like that.
And again, it does relate to the point where it's like, is someone behind this?
Yes.
Is it Leo, or is it someone else who's behind getting rid of them?
Yeah.
Then, of course, we have, you know, Raven's portal and the bike coming through, and then, yeah, I love that little scene of with Ranger in the kitchen. That to me felt like just the most, I think, one of the most natural scenes I've ever seen in RWBY. Yeah. It just felt so like real life person. Yeah. So just real. It just felt like such a real scene. Yeah. I don't know how to explain that.
The only thing I had with the portal and Crow was that the portal came up straight away, then you hear the bike straight away, yet we know from the Raven scene was the portal went up and there was a bit of a discussion, and then Yang had to get a bike and hop on the bike and go through it, so there was a bit of a time there when the portal was first opened and when they actually went through the portal. But
well, to be fair, Yang was there that discussion, she was on a bike during that little discussion bit, so to hear Crow could have just heard the bike through the portal.
I mean, like, Raven opened the portal when she actually was giving Yang the choice of stay or go, and then it flicked her when she was on a bike going through. So
yeah,
there's a bit of time there.
Yeah, but it also might be the thing that the other portal doesn't open until you actually go into the portal.
The other side of it, maybe.
That's what I thought, at least, when I saw that scene. It's like, you know, the other portal doesn't open until you actually enter the portal. So you enter the portal, you have a 5 seconds of limbo, and you're just in some sort of bird black raven world. Yeah. And then you end up on the other side. And this is something I don't think we've ever discussed this, but I've never mentioned it a few times. The red portals are something that has been in RWBY since Volume 1. Yeah. Like since it was in the Volume 1 intro. Yeah. The whole red portal thing has been a thing for a very, very long time. So I'm curious, you know, if Raven is going to be seriously significant. Yeah. Going forward, you know, is she just, like, you know, I never considered the idea that she'd be killed this volume trying to get Vernal. I don't think she will. Because I feel like no one of Stark can die until we get to Summer. Yeah. Which again might not be till freaking like Volume 9, whatever. You know, I still think we're light years away from bloody some, which I'm happy with. I like that. Yeah. Hold some of your cards to your chest. You know, like Crow said, you know, don't play your hand at once. But of course, then we have the reunion. And I mentioned this before. Again, Weiss, in this whole episode felt a little out of place. Like, and again, I think that's almost good for a character because, like, Weiss is always the out of place one. She doesn't feel like she belongs anywhere. So I feel like that almost makes sense to a character. That she feels out of place almost in a sense. But again, we got them all together and they were loving and hug and crying and all that kind of stuff. And can someone talk about Yang's arm? Can someone bring that up?
I'm sure it will be in the next episode. We saw the thumb now.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. Like, can we not just... can we have someone bring it up? I don't want that to just be kept being overlooked. She has a robot arm. Someone mention it.
I'm sure we mentioned.
You know, I'm 100%. I'm fairly certain it's going to be in this next episode. Yeah.
I like all the mentions about what happened to the do nothing to the cook apron.
Yeah, it's a shame we didn't pack that.
Yeah. I guess I got left behind.
Yeah, too. I do love seeing the RWBY and Ren interactions. That's very cool.
That was good. Yeah, because we haven't seen a lot of interaction between the two. And Nori just eating everything, which
yeah. It's also it is very funny to see how Weiss, Yang, and Oscar are gonna get along.
I like how Oscar sort of walks in like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah, because I'm fairly certain this scene takes place the second after that scene in episode 5. Where it's like dinner's almost ready. She goes like upstairs and helps prepare dinner. I believe that's the same thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yes, I had to think.
I could be wrong, but I don't know. Something about me feels like that's just the extension of that scene.
Yeah, it could be.
It's just because again, remember when he said that I've had this game for a couple of weeks? It'd be good to lessen any sort of time skip in the Ranger story right now. Yeah. So she goes like upstairs and finishes dinner, and also Oscar does walk in as if he's like kind of just been focused on something.
He just walks in like, what have I walked into?
Yeah, but no, because like he walks in looking like he's like, you know, he's still thinking about that scene of RWBY. Yeah. And he's like, oh, something's happening. Yeah. Again, the hug was also, and again, the finally Yang returns the I love you that we heard at the end of Volume 3. Finally get that back. Yeah, I don't know.
RWBY Yang, why does your arm vibrate? Doesn't ever get
it sucks that I almost wanted a little bit more from this scene. Yeah. I don't know why. Yeah, and again, it's one of those things where I'm sure by next week I'll love it. Yeah. But I don't know. Something a little bit about me feels like there could have been a little bit more. Again, I think it's as a Weiss, as someone whose favorite character is Weiss. Yeah. This episode again, she was just there. So I don't know. I hate being negative, so I apologize, guys. I really. All this stuff is very, very just nitpicking. Yeah. For the sake of discussion, I love RWBY and I love this episode.
Yes.
Do not get me wrong.
Yes.
I'm just nitpicking and I will be over it by after this stream. I can see why
now. You just need to let it all out. That's what we discussed. Yeah,
that's definitely the point. I can see why now, because I watch reactors and reviewers and I'm like, oh, they missed something or they're being negative, and it's like, I've done it enough now to realize. So I did reactions as well. That you miss stuff, and just because you say something doesn't mean that's what your focus is on.
Yep.
You know. But the amount of people that missed the combat ready. When RWBY said that, the amount of people that missed that. I was like, okay, next video. You missed that. Next. But at the same time, most of these reactors aren't. I think about RWBY every day.
Yeah.
There's not a day obviously as an artist who does RWBY almost every day, but I do think about RWBY every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of these reactors obviously aren't. They're watching their other shows. They're doing their other stuff.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. RWBY really is the main thing I'm watching at the moment.
Yeah, like I'm watching RWBY and Arrow and like some of the other DC shows. Yeah. But I don't think about those every day. But I do think about RWBY every single day.
I did see Thor the other week. Woohoo! Finally.
Yeah. I didn't see. I think I'm gonna skip that one and just go look forward for Star Wars instead.
Star Wars is gonna be amazing.
Longest Star Wars movie ever.
Yes.
It's gonna be. Longest Star Wars movie. Can be very, very long.
They're already long anyway.
Yep, it's gonna be. I don't remember. I think it was 1:55.
Okay.
So that's about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not much long. It's not longer by much. It's like only over 10 minutes, but still the longest.
Hang on a second, I need to let Max out. He's getting restless. 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll talk to the chat. That's fine.
You keep talking.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to look back through the chat, guys, and just answer some of your questions that I know I've missed. So I apologize. I always make sure to go back and look through these comments. So if I do go back through here and I miss them, please, of course, make sure to mention it. And if anything goes wrong, I have no control over this stream. Larissa is controlling everything. So if she's not here, I'm probably going to miss something. Is Crow a virgin based on his bad luck with women? No, we know that. He's a baller. That's the one place he doesn't have bad luck in, is the bedroom. Explain Dr. Mellow's Grim Dust. I think that's more like sciencey. That's not magic. That's more like sciencey nuclear kind of stuff. Honestly, as happy as I am for the reviews, I feel they happened faster than I feel. Yeah, I feel like the scenes could have been drawn out a bit longer, and they could have had a bit more of a discussion on certain scenes. There's a few dust. No, I don't think Dr. Mellow's Grims were dust. I think that was just like science experiment related. Yeah. I don't know if I don't think that was dust or magic. Be nice. RWBY isn't a chef. What happened to that? I love. Yep. A lot of these are just comments, not necessarily questions. Young's getting a phone call. Yes. Her arm does vibrate, but the phone calls and devastating attacks. Fucking Miles. Summer being alive would honestly be disappointing for me. Yeah. I feel like, again, I mentioned before that, like, how the whole Carly and Gira dying thing was like, they've told us it's going to happen, so it probably won't. Summer, I think, is an exception to that. I do think Summer is dead.
Yeah.
I do think that when Summer is brought up, RWBY will lose her shit, and we'll get a lot of exposition on that when that happens.
Yes.
Because again, if you think Yang and Raven have a disappointing relationship, I almost think RWBY and Summer might have something like. I know we saw at the start of Volume 3 that RWBY obviously cares for Summer, but I think deep down she is upset that Raven isn't here anymore for her.
Yeah.
And again, that relates to Red Like Roses Part 2.
Yeah.
Where it's all about you not there for me anymore. You cared for others rather than me.
Yeah. You left me like I always knew you would.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. That line has always stuck with me very much.
It was playing earlier when I was doing things in the house.
I need to get back to I need to buy the RWBY Red Like Roses lyric poster.
Yes.
Very, very old poster that I've wanted to buy for a long time. I've never gone around to it. Yep. Makes sense for low character version. It makes sense.
Can't get everything to sit right.
If it's an Empire Strikes Back reboot, I refuse to watch it. Well, yeah. It will still be better than Attack of the Clones.
Yes.
So, that's the only Star Wars movie I don't like. I love Phantom Menace. I know a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
But I like Phantom Menace. Even though it is a pointless film. It has there's no need. Like, 3 is fine, and even 2 has its purposes.
Yeah.
1 didn't need to exist. But as a film, I still love it. Anyway. So, of course, guys, make sure to ask any more questions or anything that Anything that we missed?
I have some questions.
Yes, we have some questions from Discord, I believe.
We do.
Go
And
ahead.
before I get into that, I need to mention the thing which I said I was going to mention because I knew I'd forget and I did forget. So, if any of you guys are on Amino, which I think most of you are, or most of you probably have it, there's a new Amino community coming up, which someone just asked me to give a shout out to. It's RWBY cross with Red vs Blue, which would be really cool.
Ooh.
Yeah, they're only small, so they only got about 20 members, but they're trying to get a little bit bigger. So I'll pop the link in the description below.
I should post the Nora RWBY video on that.
Yeah.
The because that's a Red vs Blue RWBY mix-up video.
Oh, right.
That one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I haven't joined it yet because I only got the message just before the stream, but I was going to jump on there later. But yes, I'll pop the link in the description below. So if you want to go check that out later, that'd be really good. Or you can just search the RWBY cross with Red vs Blue. Yes.
Stay civil in the chat, guys. No need to be. I don't know if it's serious or not, but no need to be mean.
Chill, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah. Yes. So, Chose sent me a whole heap of questions because
Chose, shout out to Chozo.
Chozo, because he lives in the UK, so he's would have gone to bed by now because it's like 2 a.m. 3 a.m. over there. Yeah. So, okay, he sent me several questions. First off, can Osborn actually see through Crow and Raven's eyes like Hugan and Newman, or is it metaphorical that they report to him?
I want to say metaphorical, but if it is
metaphorical.
If it is his own magic that created them, I don't think it's necessarily out of the question. He already sees through Oscar's eyes.
Yeah.
God, every single thing I learn about Osborn, the more I don't trust him.
Oh, you created a chat for RTX Sydney 28. Oh, cool. I'll have to check that out too. Definitely. Send me a link in Amino.
Any of you guys have to leave now, that's completely alright. Thank you for watching.
Oh, see ya. Thank you for joining. I know it's probably really late your time.
But yeah, I think if he looks through Oscar's eyes, so he could look through Crone Ravens.
Maybe. I think it's more metaphorical, but
yeah, I definitely think so because again, he'd know exactly where Raven would be then.
Exactly.
Well,
yeah,
maybe not necessarily because no, he probably wouldn't. But still, he'd have more of an idea though. He'd have more of a guess.
Yeah, and Salem did. I remember a line that Salem said: "The last eye is blinded."
Last eye is blinded. So because again, Raven had already left, which would make sense then if it was just metaphorical.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't reporting to Osborn anymore. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Next one, well, we already answered about Tysbro and Stark. Does Remnant have a 16,000 Leanne note? Well, I think they all use cards. It seems to be like debit cards.
It's all like debit cards or gift card kind of concept.
Yeah.
It's like you buy.
Oh, they got much money on them.
You can buy a $50 card, but then you can go and, refill it kind of thing. It's like an Opal card, if anyone's Australian.
I think so too. It's interesting how that works. I hope we find out some more about how the currency works. That'll be really interesting.
Not the most important topic I think they would like to learn on, but
I would like to know more.
Okay,
if we get some more World of Remnants in the future, more about how Remnant works as a whole with the Leanne, and maybe even a bit more about the council and running of the cities and such.
Yeah, they could.
To me, that's interesting. I know people probably find that boring.
No, that's fine. I think the whole council stuff is something that's been alluded to a lot, but it hasn't really been explored very much.
Exactly. Did Salem do anything to stop Raven being one of Osborn's eyes? No, don't think so.
I don't think so. Again, I think Raven just made her own choice in life and just didn't want to be a part of it because she just began to see how bad Osborn actually can be, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's what she saw the world become more horrible.
She's probably seen or know, or maybe, I don't know if she's seen, but maybe just seen and heard enough about Salem to know that it's wrong.
Yeah.
But again, like the way she's reacting, it seems like there's even more that we don't know yet.
Yeah.
It definitely feels like she was alluding to even more than just Salem and Osborn. Like, I feel like there was even more.
Yeah.
Again, going back to the idea that he's headmaster just to raise an army.
Yeah.
To fight Salem.
Yeah. It seems to be sourcing out people like you're sourcing Stark in the end. You pick them.
And again, that all relates back to Divide. That whole song is about Ozpin using people against Salem.
Yeah. Yeah. Or was it Yang's birth that caused Crow to rein in his intent to kill hunters and turn Raven in?
What was that?
Was it Yang's birth that caused Crow to rein in on his intent to kill hunters and turn Raven in? I think Crow probably changed his view on killing hunters partway through their time at Beacon, but...
Yeah, I would say so. And although I don't necessarily... Well, I'm not against it. I'm against the idea of Crow being Ruby's father. But it could be some relationship with Summer.
Yeah.
That changes the outlook on it.
Exactly.
Whether that related to Ruby, I don't necessarily think so. But it could be. But yeah, I definitely think it was just his experience as a huntsman. And again, Crow and Raven didn't choose that life. They were either born into it, or they were adopted into it.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So they were just raised the way they were raised, but as soon as they got out of the bandit life and could have a choice of their own, Crow made his, Raven made hers. Simple as that. But I am definitely curious to see the next interaction between Raven and Yang, and if Raven is just, more, how much worse she can get.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot more. I think
definitely.
I think she was fine in her own way.
Yeah.
So
she was trying to be nice, even though she really wasn't.
Yeah, and again, in her own way. And when you grow up around bandits your whole life, I can understand you having a bit of a strange outlook on life.
Yeah, yeah.
And with all the horrible things she's probably seen at Osborn's hand.
Yeah.
Again, I don't blame Raven for her opinions or her actions at all.
Exactly. I've got one more question. Well, it's more a theory idea from Zom. I think Zom's still here. What was it? Going back to episode 2, Salem and Lionheart have been getting steadily braver since they met. So what if Lionheart ends up building the courage to fight back and ends up being Watts' downfall? Possible.
I think that's most likely. I think that's most likely the direction they're heading.
Yeah.
I don't think Leo's going to stay a bad character. Because again, he's clearly just a scared character.
I feel like he'll run away, at a pivotal moment, and just run off. Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, I don't know why I got this vibe. I just got like an end of Harry Potter vibe where the Draco family just walks away, kind of thing like that, and then you just don't see them again. Yeah. They just leave. Yeah. I feel like I got that vibe. We see what happens to Draco in the flash forward, but it's just an interesting scene where it's just like, they just leave. They just don't want to be a part of this anymore. They just disappear. Exactly. Yeah. They leave the bad side. They don't join the good side. They're just gone.
They're just gone. Yeah.
Very interesting idea. Just thinking. Of course, you guys have any more questions? By all means.
That was the last of the questions I had. Just
trying to think through. So we know that the Weiss and Yang know about Salem. They don't know about the maidens yet.
Yeah. Well, we assume not. No, I'm pretty sure.
I still would have loved to have again, if we saw a little more of a scene before the tent. Yeah. If we saw Yang and Weiss be like, it's like, huh? Could Nora ever summon thunder? It's like, I think her semblance was thunder, but I don't think she could summon it. And like they question like Vernal. It's like, yes, huh? But like related to Nora because of the lightning. That'd be funny. Lionheart equals Donald Doyle. That's actually a really I don't know if you're familiar with that reference at all.
Donald Doyle, no.
That's a Red vs. Blue reference.
Oh, right. Yes.
But that is a very good comparison, and that's the thing. A lot. If you've seen Red vs. Blue, RWBY has so many similar story arcs and story traits. Yeah. To Red, at least the seasons 5 onwards. To Red vs. Blue, obviously the color theme is obviously there. But just a lot of things like that and a lot of character similarities. The guy screaming from Volume 4 episode 1 didn't die, just possesses the bullet, now is hunting RWBY. It's just a flying dust bullet, just flying around Remnant trying to find RWBY. It's like a predator bullet, just flying through the air.
I just had the image of the guy from Chibi in my head. He's voiced by Kerry.
Kerry.
Yes, that's great. Talking
Kerry's,
to Chibi...
Kerry, stop voicing Gaius and go back to Neptune. Go ahead.
Talking to Chibi, we are getting a Chibi episode this week, which is exciting. Yeah, so they just dropped that on us, which also makes me think something bad's going to happen in tomorrow's episode because we'll need Chibi.
Yeah, it's a bit early for the Christmas special episode, which I'm assuming this is one of the two. I'm assuming this is.
But it's out for everyone. It's not just for first members. So the holiday episodes were meant to be just for first members only.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is out for everyone. It's going
I
out
don't know.
public straight away.
Maybe we are going to get 24 before we get the Christmas episodes
I
then.
know.
'Cause I thought that they did 22, and then the 24 was the Christmas episode ones.
Yeah, and it's coming out at a weird time. So it's coming out at 11 p.m. Monday night for us Aussies, which is weird.
Wait, what time is it coming out for us?
11 p.m. Monday.
Ah.
Yeah. Which is
Oh,
weird.
okay.
For context for the US guys, usually the episodes come out like 3 a.m. Sunday
You sure Monday?
morning for us.
Monday doesn't sound right.
Yeah, it's Monday.
You mean Sunday night?
No, it's Monday night.
Oh, Monday night. So it comes out for
know.
it comes out for like them Sunday, like 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
But then, if it's meant to make us feel good after episode 7, then why wouldn't it come out alongside episode 7?
Well, that's what I thought originally it was going to come out. So I thought, oh, good, I'll watch Chibi before I watch RWBY. But yeah, no, it's coming out Monday night, which actually be Monday morning for them.
Sunday morning.
No, Monday morning. It's Monday night.
Oh, I don't know. Oh.
Hey, Shivu! How you doing? Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it's very, very, very bizarre. Also,
I'm happy
Leo,
with Chibi.
Leo being with Watts down for because Watts will be at the bandit camp with Cinder, so I don't know about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the Chibi definitely is interesting. I'm very interesting what they're doing with that. Again, if it is a change plan, it is one of the Christmas episodes, or if it is just a random episode before the Christmas specials. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, it's Slip Through Time and Space Part 2. So it could be anything. It could literally be anything. Because like, we know from last time we had that skit, it was like weird stuff happened. We had the voice actor.
Well, yes, it's like one of those things where one of the craziest things in this series is the fact that, as far as we know, at least up to Volume 4, Nice and Sam never recorded together.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see in the TV episode them both recording at the booth. Because then we get confirmation that they have recorded together before. Because Neef has been recording at Rooster Teeth once or twice.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he lives in Japan, I'm pretty sure.
He does, as far as
but
I know.
he has gone out to Austin and stuff to record before.
He hasn't
so it'd be cool to
said
see those
anything.
two.
He's been hinting at
he's
things.
a cheeky bugger. He's always been a cheeky bugger.
Cheeky. Yeah. Now it's Rooster Teeth brand coffee. Chibi beans.
Chibi beans. Well, they already made a cereal. It can't be that much harder to come out with your own coffee, I guess.
Yeah. And yeah. So I don't know. It could. I don't know. I'm looking
Very
forward
strange.
to it anyway. Yes, and I'm thinking. I see how I feel. I might actually record my reaction when it comes out and upload it straight away, since it's 11 p.m. But I'll just see how I'm feeling, rather than doing a morning record.
I did that for Blake and Ruby Shorts.
Yeah, but that was like 2 a.m. in the morning for you, or 1 a.m. was it?
Yeah, it was 1 a.m.
1 a.m.
Those were bad
I'm
ideas.
streaming that night too, but that's okay. Yes, so we got that all happening. And we haven't really talked too much about next week's episode.
Sorry,
Yep.
no, that's not true. Anime. He's making a tale, but no, he is going with Cinder to the bandit camp. Salem said that you and Dr. Watts, your team and Dr. Watts, convince her and Bronwyn.
Yeah.
The survival of people depend on a corporation. Yes, he's making a tale, but that's not something he's going back to Salem to do.
Yeah.
I
think it was Cinder is to let Watts know once they've got the Spring Maiden Vanilla.
Hazel.
Yeah, Hazel. That's right, Hazel.
Yeah, she's letting know Hazel so that he can say, okay, White Fang, you can go ahead and invade.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Choose between Chibi Beans and Coffee Cola.
Which is curious then if Adam is going to invade the full moon before the school back in session, or if he's just going to invade as soon as they have the Spring Maiden. So, very interesting.
Coffee Coke isn't nasty. I like Coffee Coke. I don't have one here. I didn't grab one out of the fridge before it started streaming. Whoops. But yeah, Chibi Beans would be cool.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things like the fact that Rooster Teeth sell flasks, and even sell ruby flasks, but don't sell a crow flask. Yes. I do not understand.
No.
They sell a ruby flask with like Ruby's emblem on it, I think, but they don't sell one of Crow's.
Didn't they have a a beer glass or something, or a pint glass?
Yeah, they're a pint glass with Crow symbol on it, I think.
Yeah.
But they don't sell the flask with the symbol on. I don't get it.
They should do one just for cosplayers. They would love that.
Yeah, like, again, that's a great point. That's a...
Oh, yeah, Tyrion. How Tyrion's word with Salem went, yes.
Yeah, like, again, like, I want to see that. I hope we get to see that, or we get to see some villain stuff. Again, I think we will see, like, 9 minutes or something of Ranger Juniper stuff.
Yep.
But it'd be Ranger RWBY Juniper stuff, or Ranger stuff. Yep. Or Orange stuff, whatever the hell.
Orange.
But it'll be cool to see, what else? Because I do think that I don't know. It is like the halfway episode kind of thing. It's the last episode before the halfway point.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, that's why I don't know why they don't sell the flask. Because I have a flask. I don't drink at all. But I have a flask. I would love to use it, but it's like I don't know how often this thing is, or even if this is a big Australian thing. But for my 18th, I got a flask and a beer mug that has like engraved my name. Yep. 18th birthday.
Yeah,
that's a pretty common Australian thing, I think. I don't know how big it is elsewhere in the world.
Yeah.
But I have one, but I don't want to use it because I don't want to wash, because washing that thing, flask in general, will be a pain in the ass. But if I had just a random other flask, like say, I'd love to fill it with Coke and just have a Coke flask with me at all times.
Yeah. We definitely need a Crow
they have RT flasks, but then why not make the Crow one? I don't get it. I think they even have like a Crow shot glass. I could be wrong.
A Cocoa plushie.
Well, as long as it's not the same as the Pura plushies.
Yes, no. So, next week's episode, let's have a chat a little bit about that and the thumbnail. Yep. Of course, if anyone don't want to know what the thumbnail is, but you can
so this is basically spoiler from now on, guys. If you don't know anything going into the episode, you're more than free to walk away.
And we're not talking about the preview show in RWBY Rewind because I haven't seen it. So
yes,
we're not talking about that. Just the thumbnail.
Rest and resolution.
Rest and resolution. So on the thumbnail, we have Nora hand wrestling with the gang. I laughed out loud when I saw
again, I'm really hoping this episode is just full of funny explanations on stupid things that the writers did in the past. Like, like almost like a fourth wall episode.
Yes.
Where it's going to address a bunch of things like them, like they're gonna have talks about them reunioning, them coming back together. Talks about Yang's arm.
Yes.
Talks about other things that are just funny in Volume 4, stuff like that. This will be like the fourth wall episode, I feel like, which again relates to the whole Chibi thing.
Yeah, it does in a way.
Maybe that's why it's coming, because maybe this is gonna be like a break the fourth wall episode.
Maybe that makes more sense once percent. Yeah.
That's gonna like make fun of them. I feel like there's gonna be a episode they're gonna make fun of themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really. That's what I feel like. But definitely, very much looking forward to it again. Like you said, the arm wrestling will be funny.
Yes. It's going to be hilarious. Want to take bets on who's going to win the arm wrestle? I know the obvious bet will be Yang, but Nora is Nora.
I don't think the arm works this way. But imagine but imagine if Nora could drain the electricity from Yang's arm, and then again, I don't think her arm runs I think her arm just runs on her own mind. I don't think it has a power source.
No.
It just runs through her nerves.
Dust or aura or something?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess, do prosthetic limbs in our world require power?
Well, it had some sort of, it's linked to her nerves or something, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think it is. I think it is linked to her nerves. Because again, like, I guess our body does require power, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I think Yang, is pretty obvious win because again, her arms it's just robotic. Like, I don't know how it could lose, but yeah, if she could somehow like absorb the power from the arm and just do it, that would be the funniest. Like, again, that would be a funny little thing to do. But yeah, this is the mid-season finale.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But it's a very short episode, which is why I also think there will be a cliffhanger at the end of this.
Yes, I believe will be.
Because the cliffhanger for episode Volume 1, I guess, was the player and priestess fight.
Yes.
So the Roman was the cliffhanger.
Yeah. No, that was just like, it felt like that was half the show, so like, that could have really been its own season in a way.
But it's still a I'll still call that, like, the end scene of Roman was still a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Volume 2 was, I guess it was just the dance. Like, even though that was past, I would still say that episode the end of episode 7 was the mid-season finale, even though it's an episode like over.
Yeah, yeah. And then it sort of changed the storyline from that with Ruby going out to Mountain Glen. So
Then episode 3, of course, was the Yang fight with Mercury.
Mm-hmm.
And then volume 4, there was the Tyrion. No, was it the Tyrion fight or was it the Crow? No, that was the Tyrion fight. That was the Ruby Tyrion fight. So that was Crow showing up.
Yeah.
That was the mid-season.
That was that, or would have been chapter 7 in chapter 7 as well, but.
Yeah, well, this is the equivalent. Like, this is equivalent to like what we're going to see in this episode could be the equivalent to what we see in those episodes. So again, I'm hoping we get like a Cinder shows up at the bandit camp.
Yes.
Or
Menagerie. With
I still feel like we might go back to Menagerie unless we get, or like I said, we get all the Ranger Ruby stuff.
Yeah.
Then we get a little bit of Blake family stuff. And then as we leave, that the show ends with like just a shot of the White Fang overlooking the Belladonna household.
The table's not going to be... There'll be no table at the end of that. Yeah.
Crow already broke it once.
I
don't think that's the same table, but he already broke one table.
Yeah.
That's a funny thing too, and this is not criticism at all. The freaking... the sizing in RWBY is always so insane. The houses they're in are huge.
Yeah, it's
the house they're in is huge. My house is tiny compared to that place. And the room in general is tiny compared to that place. I wonder how much the rent is for that kind of place. But we see Crow's money. We saw Crow has money.
Well, threw out on his card for 16,000 yen. Yeah.
But again, it could be very well that it's based on yen, so it could be a very smaller monetary value.
Well, yeah, that's true. We don't know. We haven't really heard much else
so that sounds like a lot, but it could actually be a very minimal amount.
I think it's the first time we've actually had reference to an actual amount.
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
So I think instead of the ramen shopkeeper sort of said it as if it was quite a large amount. You know, you had to think about it. 16,000 yen. So that's quite a large amount, but it might not be equivalent.
But it's also
to $16,000.
I don't think it's for ramen, but it still is just a ramen shop. You know, how much can you buy? How much could you possibly?
Equivalent to like maybe a grand or $1,600 or something.
Yeah. Again, like a question is like, is it like a tab situation where like it's ramen and alcohol a tab, or is it like he did a job for him but didn't pay him back?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, that's new, but that's what I thought. Like the house is pretty huge.
It is massive.
even the training room for a training room was pretty big.
Yeah.
Right. The tent was about the right size. I feel like.
I felt like that was good. It was still large, but
the house they're in is huge.
Even
Lionheart was even a little big, but again, it's an office, so that makes sense.
Yeah, even like Ruby and Yang's house, Ty's house, that was quite large.
That's not big. Yeah, their house was
very
huge.
open plan, but
it was still a massive house.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, do we have any more questions, or we're about ready to wrap it up almost? And Max is bashing his way through.
Monster attack!
Christopher! I'm not streaming on Twitch. Sorry.
Well, to be fair, we are about half an hour over.
We are.
At designated time.
I think this is probably a good time to wrap it up, actually.
Yeah, so if you guys have any lasting questions, feel free to ask us.
Any more questions?
Otherwise, we'll just be gone, and we'll see you next week, I suppose.
Yes, I do want to just say thank you for the 2 people who subscribed to my YouTube channel too. While we've been going this as well. But yes, that's awesome. But make sure you check out Donald's channel as well, which is in the description. Yes, he does his amazing fan art, like his beautiful Weiss drawing, which is on... That's all.
Yeah, and that's also pre-release, guys, so you can't see that anywhere else other than this live stream. It'll be released probably Thursday next week.
Thursday next week, yep.
Yeah, and so... For those of you who are unaware or care, I took this week off drawing, but I'll be back next week.
Yep.
So I already have drawing done for Monday and Thursday, but I might get another one done before then. So
you're already well ahead. No plan.
Yeah. I took the week off. I didn't intend to backlog.
Yeah.
But I just felt like drawing. So just the pressure. So I decided to take the week off.
The lobster attack knows streams and podcasts. That's funny. If anyone watches my Twitch streams, that happens all the time.
Anyway.
Yes.
I think that's
good to wrap it up.
I think that's just about it, guys. So
yeah.
Thank you very much for coming out and joining us. We were very happy to discuss chapter 6, and I
It's been
assume we'll
fun.
be happy to discuss chapter 7 next week.
Depending what happens.
Yeah, so could be, could not. We'll have to wait and see.
I might end up having to do the stream a little bit earlier next week. I'll let you know what happens. It just depends. But it's still happening next Saturday. But yeah, follow me on Twitter for updates. Otherwise, yeah, just if you've subscribed to my channel, you'll get the notification when we go live.
Okay.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Thank you all. It's been awesome. Bye. We'll see you all next week. Okay, bye.